Imagine walking into a supermarket and choosing between beef, pork, chicken, and hippo, a huge plant-eating animal that can weigh more than 1,000 kilograms. Sounds like an obvious source of food. Yet you can walk through supermarket after supermarket and never see it. So what went wrong? Why did the cow and pig become everyday livestock while the hippo never did? The strange answer begins in the United States. In 1910, Americans were worried about rising meat prices. At exactly the same time, Louisiana had another problem. Water hyacinth was spreading through rivers and bayous, forming thick floating mats that blocked boats and damaged fishing areas. Then Congressman Robert Broussard connected the two problems. Import hippos from Africa. Let them live in Louisiana's wetlands, eat the unwanted plants, and create a new source of food at the same time. It sounds like a modern internet joke. It was not. Broussard introduced a real proposal asking Congress for $250,000 to bring useful African animals into the country. Famous adventurers Frederick Russell Burnham and Fritz Duquesne supported the idea, newspapers discussed it seriously, and the plan reached the House Committee on Agriculture. For a moment, America was actually debating hippo ranches. And on paper, the animal looked surprisingly promising. Hippos eat plants. They grow enormous. Louisiana had warm water and huge wetlands. There was just one problem. The plan misunderstood what hippos actually eat. Hippos may spend most daylight hours in water, but they usually feed after dark, leaving rivers and pools to graze on land. An adult can eat roughly 40 kilograms of vegetation in a night, and may travel several kilometers looking for it. The water hyacinth was supposed to be the free food that made Broussard's idea brilliant. But aquatic plants are not the main fuel of a hippo, and water hyacinth itself is mostly water. So instead of releasing giant animals that cleaned the bayous while feeding themselves, farmers would still need large areas of grass. Fine, cattle need grass too. Maybe the idea could still work. Then you have to build the farm. A cow can spend almost its entire life on pasture. A hippo needs something more complicated. During the day, it depends heavily on water. At night, it moves onto land to feed. Now imagine hundreds of animals, each weighing more than a small car, moving between grazing areas and large pools every day. And those pools are not just places to cool down, they are social spaces. Adult males can defend sections of water, especially when animals are crowded together. Suddenly, one simple pasture has become a system of land, water, pathways, and separate groups. But suppose humans solve that too. Build enormous enclosures, give them enough water, give them enough grass. There is another problem you cannot build your way around: time. A hippo pregnancy lasts close to a year and usually produces one calf. A female normally waits a long time before producing another. A pig works on an entirely different clock. Pig pregnancy lasts about 114 days. A sow can produce more than 2 litters in a year, often with around 10 or more piglets at a time. That means 2 farms can start with the same number of breeding females and look completely different only a few years later. The pig farm can expand rapidly. The hippo farm waits. And while it waits, every adult still needs huge amounts of space, food, and water. This is where size becomes misleading. A massive animal looks efficient because one individual contains so much body mass. But farming is not about creating one enormous animal. It is about producing the next generation cheaply, repeatedly, and predictably. Hippos are impressive at the first part. Pigs are astonishingly good at the second. That should have ended the idea completely. Except something happened decades later that makes Broussard's plan look less ridiculous than it first seemed. Hippos really can thrive outside Africa. In the 1980s, Pablo Escobar brought 4 hippos to his private estate in Colombia. After his death, the animals remained, moved into nearby waterways, and reproduced. 4 became dozens. Then the population continued growing through the Magdalena River region. So one part of the 1910 idea was unexpectedly correct. Put hippos into a warm new environment with enough water and vegetation, and they may do extremely well. Perhaps too well. Colombia did not get livestock. it got a wild population. And that reveals the difference Broussard's plan missed. Keeping an animal alive is easy compared with making its entire life useful to a farm. A hippo can find its own river, choose its own feeding area, and reproduce on its own schedule. The moment humans demand control over all three, every advantage begins disappearing. That is why the strangest part of this story is not that Americans once wanted hippo farms. It is that the idea was almost logical. Hippos were huge. They ate plants. They could survive in warm wetlands. Three facts that looked perfect from a distance. Only when people tried to place the animal inside a farming system did the hidden costs appear. The cow did not win because it was bigger. The pig did not win because it was stronger. They won because humans could build a farm around them without rebuilding the entire world outside the fence. The hippo never offered that deal.